Hi, Shan. Thank you so much for being my first guest. Welcome to
It's a
Suryanshu
pleasure,
Saxena
man. It's a
podcast.
pleasure.
So you're in
It's a
Bangalore
pleasure to
right
be
now.
here, man.
You,
Yes,
you're
yes,
in
I am.
Bangalore right now. So okay, you're into filmmaking and photography since when?
Yeah, so it started back in when I was in sixth grade. It has been like almost 8 years now. I was around
Okay,
11, 12 that time.
okay,
So
okay,
what happened was me and my family, uh, like for you, like just to brief you, I've liked photography ever since I was young, like since a very young age. Like
acha.
around 8, 7. That's when I had a point and shoot camera, like the small ones you see people
Yeah,
taking
yeah, yeah,
pictures
yeah.
with, very small ones. Yeah, so those are called point and shoot camera. So that was what I used to click pictures on. So we have one family friend. The uncle is into the photography field, videography field.
Okay,
He's into the
okay.
cinematic field. So I used to get very fascinated seeing people with DSLR cameras, because I always wondered what you could see like through they used
Lens,
everyone used to
lens.
peep in the viewfinder. Yeah, yeah. And not about the lens.
Mm-hmm.
So like the camera I had a screen which displayed the image. But when I saw people using DSLR cameras, they used to see through a viewfinder. They used to peep through a small opening to see the frame. So I always wanted to try that, and that was what fascinated me instead of a DSLR as a whole thing.
Okay,
And that
okay,
was a
yeah.
small part that I wanted to experience. So uh, in like when I was in sixth grade, I was around 11 or 12. Me and my family planned a trip to Leh Ladakh. So my mom told me that let's get you a DSLR because the place is very cinematic, and it's better that you
Mm-hmm.
upgrade your
Mm-hmm.
camera and we'll get good pictures there. So that was when I upgraded my first DSLR that time. It was a Nikon D3300. It was very beginner entry camera. It was an entry level camera. So we went to Leh Ladakh, clicked a few pictures, all on auto mode. Came out really shitty, but then we also had a family along with us, and like coincidentally, the uncle was with us in the other family. The uncle was a photographer by profession.
Okay,
So
okay.
like he
He guided
throughout
you.
the
He
trip,
sort of guided you.
yeah, exactly. Throughout the trip, he kept guiding me. This is what you do. This is how you set up, and like this is how you frame your pictures. This is used for this. This is used for that. So that's when like I really started to get curious about what what all photography offers you. So that was when like I got really interested into photography. But that was not when I was introduced to videography. That was just photography. Like I used to get
Okay.
fascinated by photos. And like I
What age were you,
wanted
like
to,
how old were you back then when you got your first DSLR?
like it must be around 8 years back. So I must be around 11. Yeah, I was definitely 11 that time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Like like it is
So that's
very
like how I
fascinating.
got introduced to camera.
For an it is very fascinating for an 18-year-old, like in whatever ways you've monetized your skill. And so
Thanks, man.
you're in Bangalore right now, and I know your course is
Hmm.
very rigorous, and it's visual
Yeah.
communication. So like how,
Yeah,
and
I'm doing visual
you have
communication.
work,
Yeah.
you have work. I also know that. So like how do you balance between college and your work? How it goes that, or are
Like
you facing
that's
problems right now, or is it fine with you?
so like like people ask me this question a lot when I tell them that I work like as a freelancer. So
Mm-hmm.
I usually try to schedule my days a night prior. Like I
Okay.
schedule the coming day the night prior. So I usually have a list of like pending videos or due videos that I need to complete in the next day, in the next coming days. So I make a list and I sort it according to the importance of the video. Like the shorter the deadline, the faster I wanted to complete. I want to complete it. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wake up
Yeah.
around my roommate Soham. He goes to college. Like he has a morning shift. He goes to college at 8:30, so he wakes me up before he goes. Mine is from 1 to 5. So like for me personally, it's a good time because I can balance work and college studies with my college time. So I wake up around 8:38 in the morning, uh, just freshen up a bit and then get started. I work for like 2.5 hours, and like like able to complete most of my work during that time, because like mornings, I believe like during mornings you are like the most productive part of the day
Hmm.
is your mornings. So that's when I complete most of my work. Then I freshen up, head back to college. Then I come back and I work for a bit again. And like that's how my usual day goes: just getting up, working, going to college, coming back, working again, then sleeping.
Okay, okay. So like मतलब एक ऐसे I had a question कि you're doing very well, like financially you're doing very well. We had a discussion about this.
Definitely not.
Like but for an 18-year-old, like you're doing pretty good. But like I had this question. Uh, तुझको like लगता है यार कि कॉलेज हैज इट्स इम्पोर्टेंस, नो डाउट, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कॉलेज
Yeah.
मतलब कि कोई जरूरत नहीं है कॉलेज जाने की, कॉलेज हैज इट्स इम्पोर्टेंस, बट कहीं लगता है यार
Mm-hmm.
कि इफ आई जस्ट स्टॉप कॉलेज तो आई कैन यू नो work more efficiently, I can
To be fair,
grow my
man,
skill,
like
I can grow my skill exponentially. Do you
to
feel that?
be fair, man, yes, I do a lot of times. To be fair, so back like 2 weeks back, I actually discussed this plan with my family. So
Okay.
I told mom like I'm doing pretty good
Hmm.
in the like field. Like I'm monetizing my skill pretty good. Like I like my work and I'm doing financially well as well. So I told her like I do not like college. Like personally, I feel it is a waste of time for me, because instead of putting 6 to 7 hours there, I could actually fit in a few more clients and get more work during that
Hmm.
time. So because at the end of the day, like a degree basically gives you a job, or like you start your own business, and a degree is a validity towards earning. uh,
Ah.
that's that's all it is for me, and it's just a validation that yes, you can work, you can get work, and you can get paid. That's all it is for me. So I discussed this plan with them. I told them like I want to drop out. I want to get into full-time uh, freelancing and full-time working instead of working part-time. So she said like the first thing she said was it is a good plan, we agree with that, but like seeing your situation, like we know you can do really well, we don't doubt you, but then again at the end of the day, not having a degree would make you an uneducated person in the eyes of other people, in the eyes of society. And it's like it's safer to have a degree, and it's always better to not quit on education, and like at least complete your undergraduate, and you can do whatever you want after that, even if you want to like not pursue masters. Because initially I like my plan was to complete my undergraduate and go on
Okay.
to masters, and that is still my plan now. But you know like just for the
Plans
safety
change,
of it.
yeah. हाँ
Yeah,
हाँ
yeah.
हाँ. Hmm. So Ishan, like the course that you're doing right now, like how are you finding it कि यार ये चीज तो पता है, या मतलब कि हाँ यार ये कुछ नया पता चला ऐसा होता है, क्या
Yeah.
रहता है मतलब?
Yeah, so I agree, because like visual communication is fairly new in India, and to be fair, there aren't many colleges that offer creative fields as a course. Because instead of this being an academic course, it's more towards the creative field. It's like for me, it's like a creative job that you're doing. It's not study that you're doing.
Okay.
So I've got photography in my syllabus. I've got graphic design. That's all. Like those are the two major subjects I've got in my syllabus. So personally, I don't feel that it is like worth the time I'm giving it, because one is of course the thing that like the main thing is that I already know what they're teaching, but then it is because of the exposure and because of my own efforts that I've put in over the past 2 years. But then like for my peers, it's beginning, it's like an introduction for them. It's necessary for them to know that.
Very
So
true,
like
yeah.
that part is a bit contradicting there. And like since it is fairly new to India, I feel that there are not much institutes that there is not much you can do to like get educated in visual communication, because the course here, like we are the second batch studying here. The course started just
Okay.
2 years back, 1 or 2 years back. So it's still
Hmm.
fairly new for the teachers. They're learning as well, we're learning as well. So It's okay-ish for me.
Okay, okay. So Ishan, like one thing that we both share in common is the passion that we have for
Yeah,
movies and cinema. So like Ishan,
definitely, man.
movies that you like really look up to as, inspiration for work or as benchmarks. What are the movies? What name of
See,
the movies?
yeah. So like, to be fair, I never want to go into the film field.
Okay.
Filmmaking is a different thing, and like getting into Hollywood is totally different.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
filmmakers I follow, and most of them are not associated with Hollywood. When it comes to Hollywood, like my favorite director is definitely Christopher Nolan,
I know.
and
Yeah.
it's because of the of his quality that he can dive into different genres and still like give you a blockbuster, and he always keeps you on the edge of your seats. And no movie that he makes is similar to the other.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
mind bending, but it's not similar to the other, even if it's in the same genre. So like that is one thing that really fascinates me about Christopher Nolan. And the Hollywood film editors that I look up to are Michael Kahn, of course.
Okay.
I've been like fascinated with Michael's editing for the past like 3-4 years. I've watched a lot of his movies. Like there are like very few editors that I follow. The second one was Jeffrey Ford, and like I don't know if people are familiar with these guys, but editing is like 60% of the whole movie. So there
Okay.
are three steps how movies are produced. It's pre-production, the script writing part, the casting stuff that comes under pre-production. The production is shooting everything and like making the film, and the post-production is the editing part. And I feel like 60% of the movie credit goes into post-production. So to answer your question, there aren't like any these things like people in Hollywood that I look up to, but I look up to filmmakers. You can search these guys on YouTube. Some of them are Sam Kolda, Chelsea Koi,
I know.
Ben
I know.
TK,
Yeah.
JR Ali. So like they create cinematic videos, but they're not associated with Hollywood mostly. Like
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
work as an independent filmmaker, not get into Hollywood.
Acha. Okay. Yeah. I get it. Ishan,
Yeah.
I have this very interesting question. So, like, what is the difference between a filmmaker, a director, and a cinematographer?
Whoa. Like I got asked, like my uncle asked me the same question a few weeks back, and like it's difficult for me to explain because um I've like tried searching a lot, and there is no universal definition to this, according to me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's very difficult when someone asks me to differentiate between these guys. So to put it in easy words, it would be a filmmaker is a director, an editor, as well as a cinematographer. He does all of these things by himself or like
Okay.
with a crew.
Okay.
Yeah, and like
Okay.
it's a filmmaker is basically a mix of these three things: cinematography, direction, and editing. A filmmaker is a mix of these three. He does all the
Okay.
work
Okay.
himself. A cinematographer basically shoots everything. Our director is the one who directs everything, and then comes the editor who compiles everything and produces the whole thing.
Okay.
Like
So,
that is an easy difference between the three.
do you keep a track on like editors and movies in India, like not only Bollywood or and the South cinema is doing pretty well too. So like, do you keep a check on that also, or like you focus on freelancers?
Honestly, no, man, I don't, because like I personally, like, few years back, I stopped watching Bollywood movies entirely because personally, I feel like the Indian cinema is definitely doing good, but in
Hmm.
terms
Hmm.
of editing and cinematography, it still lags behind the global competition. That's what I personally
Okay.
feel. It's
Okay.
still a
Okay.
bit lacking behind. And like when you watch movies that are 12 years back in time, when you watch them, you can clearly see the difference between Hollywood movies direction
Uh-huh.
and the Indian cinema direction and the editing between the two. So that makes the whole difference for me. And I do watch Bollywood movies. I do still watch a few, and like it like makes me happy that we've come so far. We still India cinema is still learning, global cinema is still learning, but I personally feel global is still ahead of Indian cinema. So to answer your question, there aren't Bollywood movies that I keep a track of, nor the South cinema that I keep a track of.
So, like Ishan, what is the one reason that why Indian cinema is lagging, and what is the one reason why the Hollywood or the global cinema is doing very well? Why do you think so?
It's very simple. It's because of the exposure. See, there are talented people in India too. I'm not at all doubting that. There are much more talented people in India than the globally, like the global competition, but it's also the exposure and the education you're getting. The global people are the foreigners. They've got film schools, they've got variety of things. They start getting exposure from a very young age. That's the main thing. You know, if I were born in UK, if I were born in the UK, and like I wanted to be like get into the cinematic field, I could like do my 10+2 from a cinema school itself. So
Okay,
that is
okay,
the age they start educating you about the cinematic creative field, and that is the main reason India cinema is lacking there, according to me, because there aren't much opportunity, like not opportunities, but there aren't much education sources in India, formal education sources. Of course, people
mm-hmm,
are learning
mm-hmm.
through YouTube, people are learning through their experiences, people are learning through YouTube tutorials and different websites. Skillshare is a major example of people learning different courses. But then for me is the formal education, man. You need a formal education to get introduced to it. YouTube will definitely help you, but even today, I feel 2 years like into the freelancing field, I still feel there is a lot that I don't know, because when I see people or like of my same age, people of 19 years of age, when I see them doing uh, absolutely better than, like absolutely making it to the absolutely bigger screens in the global competition, I feel like I'm there's still a lot that I need to learn. So formal education is the more important thing for me. That makes Indian cinema lag behind.
Okay. So Ishan, like from the conversation that we had just now, can we conclude that film schools and the film schools, they really make a difference in a filmmaker's life or in their career? Can we
See,
conclude that?
a person who studied from a film school would definitely give a better answer for that, because I haven't studied in a film school yet. But then there are people, I've heard people say that film schools make you, and there are people that have heard like film schools are not worth it.
Like
I
Quentin
used to follow
Tarantino,
this.
like Quentin
Yeah,
Tarantino.
yeah.
Uh, uh,
There's this guy. If you just you can just Google him up. His name is J.R. Ali. He goes by the name J.R. Ali.
JR,
It's
JR Ali.
JRALLI. Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Huh.
So he belongs to Canada. He got into the Toronto Film School, and Toronto Film School is definitely one of the good film schools out there. So he studied there for a year and a half, and then he dropped out, saying like it's not worth it for him. And that guy is doing absolutely amazing now. Like he says that if he was still in the film school, he wouldn't be doing it, making it so far, like
Okay,
doing the work he's doing right now. So it's it's subjective, man. Like some people, for them film schools might be everything, and for the others it might not, as it might not be worth the time, worth the money, because at the end of the day, film schools need you to put in a lot of time and efforts, a lot of it. So I can't really answer that unless I get into film school. I'm
Ishan,
planning
I
to
know
get
you're,
into one for my masters.
but still, okay, you got into, like, I won't name it here, but you got into one of the most prestigious film school. We had a talk
Yeah,
about
I
it.
did.
Ishan, first of all, like they are very costly, and
Yeah, they're insanely pricey.
if given, yeah, I know, and if given a chance, would you like to join a film school for filmmaking or cinematography?
Yes, Suryanshu, definitely. I would love to. So I got accepted into one, but the major reason why I couldn't go was way too pricey for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
film schools for undergraduates are very pricey, and I'm planning to get into film school for my masters. For the 2 years of my masters, I want to do the 2 years for my masters from a film school itself. So yes, I'll be definitely trying and looking forward to it.
Okay, that's great. And I know you're into like into short films. You have created some of the short films. So yeah. So like, my question to you is, would you ever consider making a like a full-fledged film like for 2 hours or 3 hours?
Uh, so like there was a brief time where I was like, I totally want to make short films. I totally want to get into the industry, but it was like a hasty decision for me. But then, uh, towards with time, I realized like this is not for me. So yes, I have made a few short films, but like if we look at the bigger picture, I don't want to make a full-fledged film. Like that's not for me. I don't think I'm in it for it.
Okay, and like one more question, like in India, in like Western countries, do you think short films are like celebrated more or promoted more, or for that matter, marketed more as compared to short films created in our country? Do you think there's a difference between the culture of short films here in India and
Yes,
as
yes.
compared
The
to Western
culture, the
country?
culture definitely makes a big difference. Because people in the global, like people abroad, they're like introduced to a very different kind of cinematic creative field than what we are here. So yes, there's a big difference in the type of films that are made there and that are made in our country. So yes, that's right. I completely agree with that.
Okay, and like, what can your audience expect from your future endeavors? That was one question.
I like my ultimate goal is like 2 years from now, I want to get into the one of the most prestigious film schools. Like I've made a list of 5 to 6 film school that I want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years in the future, I see myself studying there, getting my master's done from there. And exactly 6 to 7 years from now, I want to see myself working as as a filmmaker or as a cinematographer or as an editor in the
Okay.
luxury cinematic field. That is like I want to work for luxury brands, like luxury fashion brands and luxury automotive brands. That's like my ultimate aim from now.
Okay, like, so you're fascinated with brands?
Yes, I am. Like I'm you like क्या बोलते हैं word नहीं आ रहा मेरे को. Fashion and automotive
Okay.
industry, like yeah, sectors are the two sectors that like fascinate me the most. And
Okay.
especially the luxury fashion brands and the luxury automotive brands. I want to
Okay.
work with them in the future. I see myself working with them in the future.
So like, which brand you would like to work for if given a chance? Any particular brand you'd like to work for?
They're like hands down in the automotive field. I'd like to work with Porsche.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
recently, a few of my idols, John FPV, he goes by the name John FPV.
John
So
FPV. Okay.
yeah, he's a FPV drone pilot. An FPV drone is basically like it's different from a usual drone. It's a first-person view drone. So you use a headset and you can see what the drone sees exactly. So it's much advanced than what a usual drone is. So he got a chance to work with Porsche. He
Oh.
got
Oh.
to work on an advertisement with Porsche. So like I want to see myself in the same place 6 or 7 years from now. And as for the fashion brands, there are a lot of them I want to work with. I don't want to stick with just one brand. Any fashion, if I like get introduced in the fashion industry, but for the automotive industry, Bosch is my ultimate aim, man. Like I really like how they they direct their ads, how the creative team works together to pull off their ads. Because luxury automotive brands, they do not like advertise all that much, but when they do, it's totally a banger.
I
So
completely agree.
that like surprised me a lot.
So, like Ishan, you said like I'll ask you like one fashion product that you'd like to work for. Like it can be clothes, it can be sneakers, So, what's your preference there?
Sorry, I couldn't get you. Can you come up again?
Like any one like fashion product you'd like to work for. That can be clothes, that can be अरे मतलब कपड़े जूते जिसके लिए मतलब you'd like to work for ऐसा.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I got a chance to work with a sneaker company, uh,
A
recently.
sneaker company, a
So,
sneaker company.
yeah, a sneaker company. Like, sorry, not a company, a sneaker reseller. To be fair.
Okay,
So,
okay.
uh, I won't name them.
हाँ.
So he's a very well-known person. He's based in the west part, like southwest part of the country, and he runs a brand that usually deals with the hype sneakers and hype clothing. So I've got a chance to work with them. Let's see how it goes. We've not started like on the project yet, but we're planning it,
Okay.
and we'll get to it soon. So that would be my first exposure in the fashion industry.
You're into sneakers?
Definitely, man. Like that's a point which connects us to.
Yeah. So like, what sneaker brand do you prefer? Which sneaker brand do you prefer?
And Nike all the way.
Jordan?
No, man. Like I personally feel like Jordans are overhyped for me. It's not for me.
Okay, okay,
I I mostly would choose the Air Force over Jordan.
okay,
And
okay,
like I've been I absolutely love Air Force for like from like 3 4. It has been like 3 4 years. I'm like totally towards Air Force, Team Air Force instead of Team Jordan.
dude. Whatever talk we had, like, I figured it out. Like, you'd like to work with complex, because whatever you said,
Yeah,
luxury brand products. So I guess
you can sum
love
it
to
up
work
like
with.
that.
Yeah. You'd love to work with complex. So, like, Ishan, is there a passion project for you decided? Like, dude, I have to do this, I have to do that. Is there a passion project for you, or any like regarding work, anything like you something really
Like I
a
said,
project that you're really passionate for?
like I said, like a passion project for me, the passion project for me would be working with the fashion brands and working with the automotive brands, especially Porsche. So I like I usually don't like to work with a team. I'm like
Okay,
I'm
okay, yeah.
more of a lone wolf, and because
Mm-hmm.
like I feel definitely different people would mean different ideas, brainstorming and everything. But for me, like being working gives me freedom of my own person, gives like a freedom to my own personal creativity. Because if I work alone, definitely the outcome could be better or worse if I work with a team, and it could like definitely vary a lot. But I like to work alone, and I would like to work with these brands alone, and that would be the
Mm-hmm.
passion project for me instead of working as a team, because I want to be considered as someone who's so efficient in his work that he doesn't need a team to work with. Like that would like sound a little bit selfish and a little bit boastful, but
Mm-hmm.
like that's what the
No,
passion
no,
project
not at
is
all.
for me.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll tell you something like I used to think like I can work in a team, but
Okay.
कुछ चीजें हुए like I figured out यार टीम के साथ मतलब कर सकता हूँ, but यार इतना टीम के साथ मतलब एक पॉइंट तक कर सकता हूँ, but फिर I need to step back. So probably I'm like I also can't work in a very efficient manner when I'm in a team. So that's again where we connect, I guess. So so how are you finding Bangalore? You were in Bhopal before this. You completed your 12th from Bhopal. So how are you finding Bangalore as compared to Bhopal?
Like after being in Bhopal for like almost 18 years, Bangalore is definitely a much bigger upgrade from Bhopal, because
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's the exposure and the opportunity the city brings for me personally. So I like to travel to central Bangalore a lot, because the city itself, like, the landscape itself surprised me a lot, because I'm not used to the kind of environment I find in Bangalore there back in Bhopal. And it's the opportunities and the क्या बोलते हैं? The
The environment,
opportunities and the
environment in
not the
general.
environment. No. याद नहीं आ रहा. It's the
ठीक है यार.
opportunity and the the vibe the city brings in for me.
Okay, so like,
So definitely a much needed upgrade from
so
Bhopal.
you're finding Bangalore better than Bhopal?
Uh, to be fair,
संभाल के
yes,
बोलना.
yes. The central,
Okay, okay.
the central part, I absolutely love it. But I definitely miss my buddies and my family back then in Bhopal.
That's nice. So, Ishan, like, you said something like about Christopher Nolan, like a very, fact rather, I'd say, so that his movies are not same; they're very different from each other. But still, uh, if you saw one movie and you're like, dude, I'd like to assist him in this, or I'd like to work with him on this project. So, what would be that movie?
Oh, good question, man. Absolutely a good question. So, a Nolan movie that I'd like to work with him on would be Inception for me.
Okay, Inception, yeah.
Definitely Inception, because the part that like that I loved the most about Inception is the like cinematography they had in Inception, because there were a lot of scenes that I kept on figuring out that, you know though like green screens and blue screens were used, it's like it's not the VFX for me, it's still the creative part of it for me, because
Mm-hmm.
I'd like it's very surprising for me to see how Christopher's brain works, because I saw a video on YouTube where Christopher was briefing his team about Memento. So
Mm-hmm.
he was standing in front of a blackboard and he briefed them about Memento in literally just 2 minutes. I mean, like, I'm not sure if that's a meme video or a you know or a this thing क्या बोलते हैं, parody, but like it's like still surprised me a lot, because he stood in front of the board, he started drawing a few things, and in under 2 minutes he could explain the whole movie. Even I, as someone who had literally just watched Memento, I could understand every bit of the
Mm-hmm.
drawing, that like every bit of what he illustrated there on the board, and like that part of me, like that part of him, just blows me out, because for me he's like a superhuman.
I can figure it out. And the thing with, Inception, the star cast is so, the cast in the movie, it is so remarkable
Yeah,
that you
it
can't
is.
get
It
over the
is
movie very
definitely.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like Inception is one of the earliest movies I watched that were made by Christopher Nolan. Actually, I think that was one of the first movies I watched, and that is the movie that really introduced me to Christopher Nolan. So Inception definitely plays a major role for me.
okay, Ishan. So like, you said you consider Christopher Nolan as your role model for your work purpose and all. But another director from like Christopher Nolan, you think that has a very remarkable body of work. Who'll that be?
It's Christopher Nolan and no one for me personally, man.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
think anyone in the industry comes even near to Christopher Nolan, because uh,
100%.
that
Yeah.
guy's brain, his brain like functions in a totally different manner than the rest of us. and because it's very surprising for me to see it. Like there is not a single movie that I like would say ki this would have been made by someone else too, or like this if if someone else made this movie, it would have been much better. That's
Okay,
just
yeah,
not
yeah,
possible for me, man.
I
Like
can
no
get
one
it. I can
comes
get.
comes near Christopher Nolan for me.
Okay, so you'll obviously work with him if you get a chance ever. You'll obviously work with
I
him.
wish, man. I wish. Manifesting
Will
that.
you? Okay, okay. So will you do that for free? Like you're not being paid for that. You're just not being paid for the. But the work is
If
very,
I'm
very
if I'm
extensive.
if I get to work with Christopher Nolan and he's not paying me for it, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and the work that you're getting is very, very demanding and very extensive. So like, and you're not being paid for that. So what will you do?
Definitely, man. It's like it's not about the payment. It's not about the money for me at the end of the day. Because if I
I
get an
know.
opportunity like that would be a dream come true moment for me. So money never cannot buy like snatch that away from you. So if I ever get a chance, even if it means like working for a whole year with him and not getting paid for any of it, I definitely hands down do that, man.
That's
I
great.
like I like that would be a must if it is Christopher Nolan. If if someday Martin Scorsese comes and like says, let's work on a movie and you're not getting paid for it, like I wouldn't do it with him.
Okay.
So it's
Hmm.
either Christopher Nolan or no one for me.
Okay, so like Christopher Nolan has a pedestal for you, like creative pedestal for you, right? We can conclude that.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Like if I look with the eyes of a director, like he's a god for me, man.
okay, okay. So Ishan, talking about money, uh, like so,
But food.
सोहम
Huh?
सोहम है क्या पीछे सोहम है
No,
क्या
no, no. He's sleeping. He's sleeping. He's sleeping.
अच्छा okay so
Sorry again.
uh,
Yeah. Sorry.
so Ishan, talking about money, so like what when did you got your first paycheck? I know it was very early, but when did you got it? And if you would like
Uh,
to reveal the amount, you can.
yeah, sure, man. So it was 2 years back from now. I saw a story from one of my friends, as one of my senior friends put it up, and they said that they needed video a video promo for an like they needed an advertisement to be made for the app. They launched an
Mm-hmm.
app for their clothing line for their cosmetic line, and they
Mm-hmm.
would like an advertisement that showcases that displays their app. So that was the first ever paid project. That was like literally the first ever paid project that I like. That was where the freelance part of me started, and
Okay.
I got like it was a 30-second promo video, and the moment I sent him the first draft, he was like, "Man, I want you to do this. This needs to definitely be done by you."
How
So
old were you back
like
then? How old were you? What was
it
your
was
age?
uh it's 2 years back from now. I was like 16, almost like about to turn 17 or 17.
Okay. Okay.
It's not like a very old thing, but it's two
Mm-hmm.
years back from now.
No, bro, it's great. It's
2019.
still great.
2019.
Yeah.
So
How
that
was your
was the
school?
first ever thing for me.
How has your school life been? Like after 10th, 11th, 12th, how has that been for you?
See, like every year, for some reason or the other, like I had a rough patch throughout, like through uh, through the course of time.
Hmm.
But if I were to summarize it, then definitely, man, I definitely absolutely loved my time with my friends. The bunking, the
Ah,
fights, the
ah,
talks we used to have in class. Like
ah.
if I could go back, if I could experience all of that again, I definitely would, even if it means going through the rough patch again. But it was definitely worth it for me, man. Like that is something I would treasure with me.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, dude. Those times were great. Yeah.
Same,
And
same.
like, whatever, from whatever I know about you, one thing that I can say, the fact is that you've been very consistent throughout. You've been very consistent, and you have put in the work and you have put in the effort that is required. So, like, my question to you is, what is that one quality or habit that any budding photographer or videographer wants to uh, needs to have, so in order that he or she can improve? मतलब ऐसी एक क्वालिटी है क्या है कि मतलब जो भी नया नया बनना चाहता है फोटोग्राफर या वीडियोग्राफर, हैबिट या क्वालिटी फॉर दैट मैटर, कि मतलब वो और अच्छा हो पाए और बेटर हो पाए, तो क्या होगी?
पैसा फेंको सब करेंगे.
क्या 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 अच्छा.
पैसा फेंको सब कर लेंगे यार. Just kidding, man. So it's not just about the money. It's actually it's a passion for me. I feel
हाँ
the
हाँ.
thing that keeps you going, that keeps you consistent, is your passion for the thing. I don't consider all of this as work. I don't consider all of this as my job. I
हम्म.
consider all of my creative field as my passion. I'm passionate for videography. I'm passionate for making films. I'm passionate for making videos, editing videos. So that is what drives me, keeps driving me. So it's not the money, it's not the work, it's not the people I work with, I work for. It's actually the passion I have in it for me. I have in me. So that is the most important thing one is to have, to, like, be good in the long run, become better in the long run.
Okay, so like, Ishan, you were very like, in the beginning, from where the very beginning, you were like, you said when you were in sixth, you were very clear, like, this is what your passion is. Okay, like, this is what your, and you've tried your hand in music also. So like, from like, are there other things that you tried and those were, and you figured out, यार इसमें तो सही नहीं हूँ, मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा? Yeah, or you were, you, and you, would you consider yourself to be lucky that यार पहले ही पता चल गया था कि ये करना है, इसमें अच्छा हूँ? Would you consider yourself?
Yes, man. Like sixth grade wasn't the point that made me sure that this is what I want to pursue for the rest of my life. This is what I want to make a career out of. But rather, till 11th or 10th grade, sorry, till 11th or 10th grade, it was actually I had the thought that I would be doing a 9 to 5 job. I would be like doing my commerce. I would either be doing a job or running a business, 9 to 5 one, and then like side by side, I wouldn't be giving up on my creative field. Rather, I would be doing, part like freelance jobs separately, like apart from my nine
Hmm.
to five. But there was the turning point for me was there was this inter DPS competition introduced, and we used to have these inter DPS competitions. If you remember, जिसमें अलग-अलग DPS से अपन लोग
हाँ
part
हाँ
लेते
हाँ
थे.
हाँ हाँ.
So there was this one competition that the science department organized, the DPS Noida science department organized. So in that there was a section where we had a video to be made, and we were given a scientific theme. It was I think it was something related to nature, something related to the environment, and we had to make a documentary video for it. So that was my first exposure, like that really made me change my mind. And like for me, that was the turning point. That was when I was realized, yeah, 9 to 5 is not what I want to do. And like uh, making like pursuing an academic course is not for me. I would like
Hmm.
to be free. I would like to be creative. I would like to be independent in what I'm doing. So for
Hmm.
me, it was that when that point of time I realized the I don't want to do this. I want to fully focus on one thing. And I was confident, but like there were times that I doubted myself. But I was pretty confident that I would make it far. So there's
Hmm.
still a lot for me to learn. There's still a lot more that I want to achieve. And like uh like the 2 years 2 years into like freelancing and filmmaking, I feel ki I did make the right decision. I don't regret any of it, and I wouldn't change anything.
That's great. Ishaan, so I wanted to know, how are your parents like throughout the time when you started, pursuing your field of interest very passionately. So like, how were your parents? How did your parents react to it?
So like my parents played a major role throughout, man. They were
Hmm.
very supportive. They were very supportive. They were absolutely very supportive, and I love them for that. But they too had their point of self doubts कि यार maybe अगर थोड़ा
समझ
पढ़ाई
सकता
लिखाई
हूँ,
में वाला
हाँ हाँ
कोर्स कर
हाँ.
लेता तो he would be doing much better. But
Hmm.
initially, but like with time, as I like began to progress in the field, and like I began to like um, began to widen my network and like get introduced to more people. Like more people started coming in, more clients started coming in, and they could see that I was actually making money out of it. That was when started realizing कि हाँ इसको करने दो. And
Hmm.
like they realized कि since I was managing my own expenses, that I stopped asking money for them from them.
Hmm.
uh,
That's a
it
big.
was
That's a very big
that
thing. That's a
that
very big thing.
it
Yeah.
was that it was that point of time they were like totally fine with what I was doing, and they have been very supportive throughout. So
So
big
like,
big cheers for them.
and that is so needed, man. Like for you, you're in such a
Yeah,
creative
yeah, yeah.
field.
I mean, definitely, it's not just about being in a creative field. Like I feel like anything that you want to pursue, uh, like if I become a parent in the future, I would definitely not stop my kid from doing whatever he or she wants. And I feel you should just let your kids do what they're passionate about.
Hmm.
And see, if you feel, you may definitely feel that they're making the wrong decision. They might like have a better opportunity somewhere else, but you should just give it a try. Like, if see if it doesn't work out, and plan accordingly.
That's great, man. And Ishan, so do you think यार चीजें different होती अगर parents इतना supportive नहीं होते तो, या थोड़ा सा they would have been more, I won't say strict, but regressive regarding your decisions. So do you think
For sure,
things?
man. For sure. Like it's also about the mental that they put you in. Parents being supportive would give me a different mental than parents being regressive of what I want to do and what I'm pursuing. So
Hmm.
it plays a major role, man, because at the end of the day, you need to be passionate about it, but at the same time, you need to put in your mind and your work efforts into it. So if I feel like if they were aggressive, if they were not very supportive of it, it would have definitely given a different outcome than what it has now.
Hmm. Hmm. So, Ishan, like apart from your parents and your family, do you think, a person that has been a rock for you? Like, you just can, it can be anyone, any friend, anyone that you think.
uh like definitely my girlfriend Maika played a major role, man.
I know,
Like
yeah.
she's been very supportive, man, there's no doubt. She's never doubted my skills, she's never doubted anything, and like she has always cheered and celebrated me with every milestone that I accomplished. And I would like to give a really big shout out to my friend circle, to my friends. Not all of them, but some of them, especially you. Like
Thanks,
you all
bro.
kept kept me going, man. Like it,
Because you were really good at
it's
it,
because
bro.
of the
Like
mental, man. It's
you
also
had the natural approach.
thanks, man. So it's also the appreciation that you get, and the mental it puts you in. It definitely plays a heavy role on how you function and what you like, how you see, how you perceive
Mm-hmm.
things. So definitely, of my friends and my girlfriend played a really heavy role on that.
That's great, man. That's great. So, like, how do you, you have been putting your work out since very long. So, like, how do you deal with criticism? कभी लगता है कि यार ये तो ऐसे ही बोल रहा है, कुछ भी बोले जा रहा है, or do you like really consider it?
See, I try to take criticisms
हाँ
constructively.
हाँ.
So there like but there have been instances. There are some like sometimes people say things that I disagree with, that I feel ki
हम्म.
yaar, he's not right on this, like, and what does he know? That is the where the arrogance comes in for me, and
हम्म.
that is something that I want to work on. Like sometimes it might be ki genuinely the person is wrong, but
हाँ.
then sometimes it might be that my arrogance is not letting me look
हम्म.
towards the constructive part of it. So yes, it does happen.
But Ishan, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it
Sure.
really matters कि यार criticism भी किससे ले रहे हो, समझ रहा है ना. देख मुझे
Yeah.
मुझे हाँ, जैसे मुझे फोटोग्राफी का लाइक कुछ एबीसीडी भी नहीं पता और मैं तुझको बताने लगूं, एंड ऐसे बहुत लोग होते हैं कि लाइक दे हमें लाइक उनको पता है कि हमें यार ये जो कर रहा है कुछ भी नहीं पता है, बट फिर भी फालतू में ज्ञान देना है. तो लाइक दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट कि आप क्रिटिसिज्म किससे ले रहे हो. सो लाइक जब सो लाइक हाउ किससे लाइक यू थिंक कि हाँ ये है, मुझे ही कैन गिव मी जेन्युइन क्रिटिसिज्म अबाउट माय वर्क, जेन्युइन क्रिटिसिज्म.
Like if you talk about genuine criticism, then people who have been in the field, or who have worked, who have had more experience and exposure than me, when they criticize, like the seniors, when they criticize me about something, I definitely take it constructively. Sometimes it I still feel कि यार कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं. Like they have been working, they might have been working for long, but then it is this creative field is evolving every day. So this is
हम्म.
something that they might not have a taste of. So usually it's it's not about the person that is criticizing you, that is pointing out something. It's also about you having the knowledge कि किसकी बात सुननी है, एक कान से और दूसरे कान से निकालनी है, and किसकी बात लेके उस पे एक्ट करना है. So
हाँ, समझ
it's not
सकता
just
हूँ.
about them criticizing, it's also about your own understanding and your own like perception of what they're saying, what they're telling you. So it's sometimes it's true कि people who are not familiar with any of it, they start criticizing me, and I listen to them very patiently, and I let it go after the point, after some time.
एक कान से सुना
And
दूसरे
there
से
are
निकाला.
sometimes, yeah, there are also instances where people who don't know shit about any of this creative field, but they say something and it really hits you, that like they might not have a taste of the field, but they are right about it. Like
हम्म.
it might be just a guess that they
हाँ.
had, but it really makes a difference to me. So it's not the person that's criticizing you, it's also what they're saying and how you take it in.
Okay. That's great, bro. Like, I mean, the professors that you have in your college is Kristu Jayanti, right?
Yeah, it is Kristu Jayanti, Bangalore.
So, the professor, do they also like you present your work to them that I'm doing this? Do you present your work to them, the professors there?
Yeah, so we had the first class ever. We had an introductory session.
Hmm.
So since like we were still having our classes online at that time, I introduced myself to the professor, to my photography professor, and I told him that I'm working like as like a freelancer, as a filmmaker. So like I've been doing so and so. So after I finished introducing me, he asked me to send a through WhatsApp, and after like coming to the offline session, I went to his cabin for some work one day, and he actually complimented me on my work and of what I'm doing, like of the things that I'm doing. So like it's the small
Was he
things that
impressed?
matter.
Was he
Like
impressed?
it's the up. Yeah, he was. He complimented me, and like he did not point out any mistakes that point of time, but
Hmm.
like I still feel that there's a lot of mistakes that I might have made, and there are
Hmm.
things that he might have wanted to correct, but he did not. So like it's also the appreciation that I get from my work sometimes. It does play a major role. So yeah.
So like तू तो यार ऐसे class like everybody जो भी होगा class में सब ऐसे I mean those people would look up to you, right? कि you know they'll come up with you कि यार ये doubt है या
Uh,
कुछ ऐसा. Or there are
like
people you
sometimes,
know
man.
better than you. You think that there are people better than you in your own batch. ऐसा भी लगता है.
See, I do feel sometimes ki, like this person is not as good as me, or this person like is just criticizing me for nothing. But there are times when like I genuinely like to help my peers and like people in general.
हाँ.
So when someone asks for my help, I help them very like patiently, and it's not the arrogant part here. So
Hmm.
I do not feel ki I'm superior than them. It's just the exposure and the experience I've had that has made me like one step ahead of them. But that's all it is for me. I don't
Hmm.
see myself as a superior to them,
Hmm.
as like a senior to them. At the end of the day, we're all learning, and uh, who knows कि third year आते आते like undergraduate के end तक आते आते they might be doing better work than me. So
Yeah,
who
yeah,
knows.
yeah. Ishan, so like, how do you deal with comparison? Like, you know, you will feel कि यार लगता होगा कि यार मतलब how does comparison play out?
Uh,
मतलब ऐसे कि तू you know you undermine
fairly
yourself or you get frustrated or you just shut it down right there जब भी
fairly
comparison वाला आता
speaking,
है.
man, usually I do not compare myself with others. I used to. I did used to.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
uh, but like at a point of time, I realized कि it actually kills your own creativity. Keep like comparing yourself continuously with others. I used to do
हाँ.
this a lot कि यार ये बंदा मेरे से अच्छा कर रहा है, मैं क्यों नहीं कर पा रहा ये. But like at the end of the day, I understood कि creativity, like comparison, downgrades your creativity. So like now whenever I look at someone who's doing better than me, or like someone who has made a video or something that really surprises me, I try to learn from them. So like I try to implement what they did, and it's not comparison for me, rather it's learning for me now. So if I find someone who's doing better, I try to learn from them instead of comparing my work with them, or like my skills with them.
Bro, talking about creativity, so how does your creative process, how's your creative process like? Like it's very, you know, spontaneous कि कुछ याद आया and you just did, or it's like very आराम से कि, you know, you सारी चीजें देखता है फिर कुछ implement करता है. How
So
does it
like
go?
creative process is like a very sensitive topic for me, because there are points of time when you don't feel like doing anything at all. Like the
Hmm.
creative
Hmm.
part of you is just, it just dies off, it just goes to rest. So and there are times like when in like मेरे को कुछ करना है, and instantly I have the idea कि यार इसको ऐसा कर लूंगा. And there are instances where I take 2 or 3 days, and there have been instances where I've had to think for over a month कि कैसे करूंगा ये.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like it's subjective, man. It's actually subjective. Different people take their creative process as perceive their creative process as something different, because some people, they're able to like be very consistent with their creativity, with their creative thinking. But for me, I have been inconsistent with it, but it is not something I take as a negative. I take as a negative point. Rather, it's I feel it's cycle that goes.
Okay.
It's a life
Okay.
cycle for me. Ki there might be instances like I've made my peace with it. Ki there might be instances जब मैं बहुत like my the creative part of me would be very
Active.
rapid and like and very active. and there would be times where it is not so active and it's a bit on the passive side. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn to adapt. You need to learn to adapt, and you have to make peace with it. That's like, I don't think there's anything you can do about it, because you cannot be at your prime
Every
24/7.
time. हाँ
Yeah,
हाँ. So
you
like
cannot
मतलब
cannot
ऐसा रहता
that's
है कि यार
not.
देखो अभी like it goes something for you like this कि यार देखो अभी समझ नहीं आ रहा है but जब भी आएगा तो अच्छा ही आएगा. Is it something like that कि
Yeah.
हाँ अभी मुझसे नहीं हो
uh
रहा या कुछ ऐसा but जब
yeah,
भी
so
मुझे
like
आएगा I'll give
if
my
I'm
100%.
if I'm unable to focus on something, I take my mind off it. So if supposedly if I'm working on a project and मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है, like I'm not able to concentrate on it, I leave it. I leave it in the sense like I stop giving time to it. And like a few days later or a week later, I'll come back. I'll sit with a fresh mind. I'll sit with a fresh start. I'll start drafting new ideas. So that's how it goes. But like whenever I take a break, I would agree ki I make something better than what I would have if I would have stressed, kept on stressing usi waqt. So you need breaks and you need time to think and you need your own space.
That's a very valid point. I get it. Bro, so like, like you said, मतलब about talking about filmmaking. So like you create like जब ऐसे कुछ नहीं हो जब मतलब ऐसे किसी ने कुछ काम नहीं दिया या you create only when you get some work ऐसा you create when you're free या कुछ ऐसा खुद का मतलब like
So like nowadays I'm mostly busy with different projects. So
हाँ
but when I do get time, जब I'm free, like I do not have any pending videos or like I do not have any pending clients. So I definitely try to create my own, because while working, you're still learning.
हाँ
You get better, but I feel कि जितना आप खुद का creative part डालोगे किसी चीज पे, जितना आप work independently on something, and it's not with a brand or it's not for a client work, it's your own free work. It's that point of time. It's that when like it's that uh, experience when you जब आपको like you start learning more and you start getting better ideas and you start that is precisely the point when you start bettering yourself.
हम्म.
So yes, when I do get time, I definitely create my own ideas and create like videos that I want to genuinely.
Okay. So, do you have a fixed time for like work? Like ये इतना ये time है I'll be मतलब you'll work on editing. इतना time है I'll be working on ये college के assignments and इस time में like कुछ और is it very कि यार देखो जो जल्दी निपट जाए वो या जिसमें ज्यादा time लग रहा है वो पहले खत्म करते हैं वो like how does it work for you?
So I usually make everything, like I said, like I schedule everything a day prior, a night prior. So I try to be as systematic as I can. But sometimes nahi ho pata, because I work in the morning. Then a fixed schedule for me is working in the morning, then studying in the college, then coming back and working a bit, then studying a bit, then sleeping off, like having a personal time and sleeping off. So I try to stick to the schedule as much as possible, but there are instances ki jab nahi ho pata. So I try to be as consistent and stick to the schedule as much as possible. But sometimes it's not in your hand, so nahi ho pata. So it's not something that I'm like I feel ki it's bad, but I feel that it's okay to not be on schedule, like to not follow your schedule
हाँ
sometimes.
हम्म. तो like time कितना लगता है तुझको like from your place to your college? ट्रैवलिंग में कितना
It's
टाइम लग
very
जाता है?
nearby, man. Like it's 50 meters walking hardly. So यहाँ से निकलता हूँ तो 4 मिनट में walking पहुंच जाता हूँ. It's literally like the college is on the outer side of the city. So
हम्म.
all the apartments and all the PGs and hostels, like most students live nearby. So it's a very convenient walking distance for all of us from our place to college.
बढ़िया है यार
And I
बढ़िया है.
feel ki since I'm cutting down on traveling time, I'm able to actually utilize that time to either work or relax. So I feel ki that's a plus point for me.
तो like अगर मुंबई आ जाता तो उसका इतना टाइम नहीं मिलता ना? What do you think
I
for your
feel
work?
like I've always wanted to go to Mumbai, to be fair. You know it.
हाँ.
But I feel ki I, like I said, I do not compare myself like anymore. Uh,
Hmm.
Mumbai might have had a different consequence, a different outcome for me, but I'm happy with what I'm having right now,
हाँ.
and I'm content with it. So I do not look back and think कि अगर मैं मुंबई में होता तो मैं ये कर रहा होता या वो कर रहा होता. So it's good for me. I'm content with it.
So like after your masters, you'd like to like stay in India permanently or shift abroad?
I want to shift abroad, man. Like I feel कि I like ever since I was young, I've always dreamt of staying like settling abroad. I don't want to stay here in India because it's not just the work, but the environment and the state our country is going into, and I feel ki, like it's not very great in the future. I don't see it being very great in the future.
Okay, okay. Valid point, valid point. But so that one city that you'd like to यार यहाँ रहना है, that one city that is very close to your heart, and तुझे लगता है कि यार मुझको तो यहाँ रहना है. I want to like stay here.
Definitely Paris, man, because like I've absolutely absolutely dreamt of living in Paris since a very, yeah, very young age, because it's
Hmm.
the culture for me, it's the natural beauty for me, and it's the vibe for me in general, man. I've never been to Paris, but I would love to settle there. I would love to visit to Paris. I'm planning of going to like visit Paris in the coming year. So let's see how it goes. And Paris would be the dream city for me.
Okay, okay. What fascinates you about Paris, to be honest? Like, it's the people there,
The culture, the
the
yeah,
culture.
the definitely the culture, definitely the landscape beauty, the
Hmm.
ambience the place provides you. It makes it plays a major difference in for me in my life. The place I'm working, the place I'm staying in, the environment there, it definitely
Okay.
plays a major role for me.
So, like, you'd like to shift like alone with your partner, or you want your whole family to be there with you, or like कि नहीं ठीक है मैं छुट्टियों में इंडिया आ जाऊंगा वापस, or do you want your whole family there to stay with you?
If it is if like if it's possible and in the future for my whole family to shift, I definitely want them to shift with me. And if
Hmm.
not, like I'd want to shift with my partner and keep visiting my parents frequently, and like that's how the cycle goes.
And yeah, and talking about your family, so how has their reaction been to your work? Like, एक support करना ऐसा चलो एक चीज, and like their reaction to your work, Kishan, this is good, or they're like, yeah, you could
Mhm.
do better. So what has their reaction been like for the past
Yeah,
few
so
years?
like every time I make a video,
Hmm.
I I go to my mom to show it first, and
Hmm.
like there are times like mostly she's very supportive, and like uh she doesn't give a monotonous reaction to it. She gives a
Hmm.
very genuine and a very pure reaction to it, because
Honest, yeah,
if
yeah.
there's yeah it's very honest. And there are times that she says ki you can do better and this is looking very clumsy, you need to work on this. And there are times ki she's absolutely surprised by my work, and like times where she's like you've done good and she appreciates me. So that's how it is.
That's great. You have a, you're very passionate for music also. You sing, right? I have seen your videos. You sing,
Yeah, I do, I
and you
do, I
sing
do,
very
I do, I
you
do.
you sing very well. Like,
Thank you, man.
so would you like to, shoot a music video for a, big artist, something like that?
Uh, yes, man, that's actually a good idea. I've never thought about it. We're actually, I don't want to spoil it here, but we're actually planning to shoot a music video with
Yeah,
one
Soham
of
sings,
my
right? Soham
friends.
sings, right?
Soham sings, yeah, Soham sings too, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not with him.
yeah.
There's
Uh,
one more friend that I have. We're actually planning to. He has like he has made a he has composed and sang a song before. and it did pretty well for him. And we're planning to. He's coming up with a new title, and we're planning to shoot a music video for the same. So I'm very excited because it'll be the first. It's it'll be the first experience for me. But to answer your question, yes, shooting a music video, I definitely want to do that. And because music has played a major role most of my life, I definitely want to shoot one. Yes.
And if yes, then which music artist would that be? It can be anyone, Indian or like someone
Uh,
from.
I would like to shoot it for Anuj Jain, especially
Uh,
because Anuj Jain's songs are very like touching for me is one thing,
mm,
but it also every song surprised me a lot, and I'd want to shoot it because I like throughout all the videos that I've seen, I like the vibe of it. I like the
mm,
look and feel of it. So I feel ki if I work on something that is close to me, I can pull it off really good, really well. So
okay,
if I were to work on a music video, I want to work with Anuj Jain.
okay. That's Ishan, you're into tattoos too, right?
I'm I am man. I'm into body taboo.
Like, do you have a thing for tattoos? Like, I want to get my whole body full of tattoos or something like that.
Uh, Man, honestly, I want to. I don't want to scribble every part of my body with ink.
Mm,
I don't
mm.
want to get inked for the
Shout out to
sake of
Dharya
it.
Singh.
Oh my god! So it's not like there are specific tattoos that I want to have. So it's not about getting ink for the sake of it. It's if something if I see a tattoo design, I leave it. I keep seeing it for a long time, and if I'm still not bored of it, I get it done. So I like tattoos a lot. I like body taboo in general.
Bro, like in India, like there's a major discussion around Indian cinema that is between the commercial cinema and that is, the art films that we have. So, if given a chance, what would you like to be a part of the commercial cinema that is like that consists of a big budget, पूरा नाचना गाना अच्छे से, or an art cinema where
Hey, pause kar, pause kar. दो मिनट रुक जाओ 100 मिनट है उसको जाना नहीं बस ये प्रेस के लिए कपड़े देना तेरा मेरा तेरे सिर्फ दो शर्ट थे उसमें हाँ शाम को एक पैर ले लेना ओके बड़ी ये वाला फिर से कर लेंगे क्वेश्चन
हाँ हाँ आराम से ना रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप नहीं करिए मैं क्लिप क्लिप कर लूंगा है
हाँ
ना
रिकॉर्डिंग में स्टॉप कर चलने दे कट
हाँ
आउट कर लेना उसमें मेरे याद नहीं है मेरे को दो शर्ट पड़ी है, इतना तो याद है बस एक दो शर्ट एक पैंट है हाँ एक डाला है दो डाला है कि दूसरा डाला है कि नहीं पता नहीं एक पैंट डाली कि पहले पता नहीं मेरे को जितना है सब देते ना वहाँ देख लिया नहीं उसको इसको सिर्फ प्रेस करो मैं धो चुके हैं सब हाँ सब धो दिया उसको सिर्फ बोलना सिर्फ प्रेस करना है धोना नहीं आपको मैं चालू कर रहा हूँ बस ठीक है करते हैं। ओए
yeah. Let's get started. So, Ishan, my question to you is, there's a debate around Indian cinema that, that is between the commercial cinema and the art films that is very relevant now, which wasn't earlier. So, my question to you is like, would you like to be a part of मतलब a commercial cinema that consists of a big budget, मतलब पूरा नाचना गाना है जिसमें cliche masala dialogues, or or art cinema, that is very subtle, very real, and to be honest, more relatable. So, what would you like to be a part of if given a chance?
I definitely want to go work with the art cinema. Work in the art cinema because it's not about the lavishness of it for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
also like about the work and about the outcome that we're producing, that we like
Nah.
working towards. So that like is it for me. So I would choose art cinema over commercial cinema any day,
Okay.
anytime.
Okay. Okay. Do you like
पॉज ले हाँ
uh,
नहीं वो दरवाजा खोलेगा तो आवाज आएगी ना दे दे शुरू देने दे दे नहीं नहीं करार मैं सोच रहा था भोपाल जाऊंगा तो वहां पे सब करा के आऊंगा मेरे को इधर पे अच्छा नहीं लगा क्वालिटी इसका हाँ वो मत धोने मत डालो उसको ड्राइव उसको जब जाएंगे तब कराएंगे यहाँ से मत करा मेरे को यहाँ का क्वालिटी खराब कर देगा वो। कौन सी तेरे को तो ये सब धो के प्रेस कराना पड़ेगा ना इसको भी वहीं जाके करा पहनेगा क्या अभी कोई दिन हाँ तो वहां जाके करा ले ये शर्ट तेरा है तू प्रेस के लिए तो ये तो धो के देगा ना तो वो सब कपड़े अलग देना बोला सिर्फ प्रेस और ये टी शर्ट दो शर्ट अलग देना बोलना है वॉश एंड प्रेस तेरे दो शर्ट तो उसमें पड़े हैं एक ब्लैक और एक वाला जो मैंने धो दिए थे जिसको सिर्फ प्रेस कराया उसमें जो बैग में रखे वो सिर्फ प्रेस है फिर तू जो देगा वो वॉश एंड प्रेस है अलग से 2 मिनट भाई
हाँ भाई ठीक है.
चलेगा 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 ओके है क्या चीज थोड़ी देर और होगा मैं बोल रहा था अपन लोग बैडमिंटन चलते हैं ना यार अभी तो सभी कॉलेज की छुट्टी होगी ना मेरे ख्याल से उधर पे
क्या मुझसे पूछ रहा है क्या?
हाँ ना छुट्टी तेरे को ही तो देख रहा हूँ
अरे मैं सो हाँ, चलते हैं, आज अपन चलते हैं, है ना?
हम्म, जल्दी करना यस
यस. हाँ, क्या क्या क्वेश्चन था यार मेरा, मैं खुद भूल गया यार, क्या क्या पूछ रहा था मैं.
नो आइडिया अपन ने आर्ट सिनेमा और कमर्शियल सिनेमा वाला खत्म किया था
हाँ हाँ, वो कर लिया था ना, और क्या पूछ रहा था? और क्या पूछ रहा था? एंड करें क्या? एंड करते हैं, हो गया, टाइम
एक
हो
आध
गया.
कोई और ऐसा कंक्लूडिंग क्वेश्चन करके एंड कर लेते हैं
वही वही कंक्लूडिंग क्वेश्चन, वही कुछ कंक्लूडिंग क्वेश्चन ही था यार, मैं भूल गया. क्या 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 क्या. हाँ, तो क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ, ठीक है. Ishan, so like we've been doing this for यार time हो गया यार, मैंने तो expect नहीं करा था इतना कर लूंगा. हाँ, तो Ishan, like so my question to you is, have you ever considered these Indian works of Indian filmmakers like Anurag Kashyap, Rajkumar Hirani, and there are many more. यार सरदार उधम सिंह किसने बनाई थी यार अभी? Shojit Sarkar. Their works are pretty commendable. So, like, have you ever considered taking a look at their work?
Yes, Suryanshu, I have. There, like I said, I like to see, and I'm happy with how far the Indian cinema has come.
Nah.
Like, I mean, it still lacks competition. It still lags behind the global
Hmm.
competition.
Uh,
What I personally feel, because different people would have different take on it. But
uh,
there are a few like movies that I've watched recently. Jo, I feel like they have a good plot, they have good direction, good cinematography, good editing, and like I like this is the way Indian cinema is going towards. So
hmm.
plus points for that to Indian cinema, man.
Hmm. Dude, you watched Sardar Udham Singh?
नहीं.
देखना यार, देखना. You'll like it. You'll 100% like it.
अभी
I don't.
रिसेंटली निकली क्या काय पे है?
हाँ हाँ हाँ, Amazon प्राइम पे विक्की कौशल है भाई.
ठीक है.
शादी हो गई उसकी
ओके
कटरीना
डन.
कैफ से.
भाई मेरे को
नहीं,
इतना
वॉच.
हार्ट ब्रेक हुआ यार.
सही में यार, सही में यार, मैं बता
मैं
नहीं
तो
सकता
मैं
यार.
तो घर पे बचपन में बोला था कटरीना से शादी करूंगा. अभी हो रहा था तो फिर मम्मी का मैसेज आया था कटरीना की तो शादी हो रही है.
यार मुझे वही
बहुत
याद
दुख हो
आया.
रहा है भाई.
आई वॉज 5, ठीक है, जब वो गाना है
हाँ
ना,
मैं भी ऐसा ही कुछ
टच
था.
टच मी वो रेस का.
टच मी
हाँ हाँ हाँ
मेरा
हाँ
सर
यार, मेरा मुंह खुला खुला रह गया यार, इतना दिल टूटा ना यार, मतलब. हाँ, so
बहुत
coming
दर्द
back
हुआ
to
मेरे को भाई.
Sardar Udham, I don't think any movie has captured Jallianwala Bagh as profoundly. You know na Jallianwala Bagh?
हाँ I do.
I don't think any Indian movie has captured it so profoundly as Sardar Udham Singh did. You'll love it. You'll love it. I'm telling you.
Definitely watch it, man. Definitely watch it. Yes, sir.
So, any actor that you really love his or her work, can be from Bollywood, can be from Hollywood.
Definitely Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
hands down. Like we know it.
Yeah. Everybody knows it, bro. Everybody knows it. Yes. So I guess, Ishan, thank you so much for doing this.
No problem, man. Like I like totally loved it talking to you here, and
Same here, man. Thank you so much
appreciate
for
you
doing
having me
this.
here on your podcast, man.
And
I appreciate you having me here.
I remember, like, I had this idea that I wanted to start a podcast, and you were the
Yeah.
first person I called. You were the first person after, like, having a talk with my sister. You're the first person I called, man. Thank you so much for doing this. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure's mine, man. Pleasure's mine. We had a good time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.